Good evening. Welcome to Couples United. I'm Kevin Peck. This is my wife, Dana Peck, and you are tuned in. You are hanging out live with Couples United. We got Q and Charlinda. Look like they in the Bentley somewhere. Uh, we have Pastor Steve Thurston. We have a guest coming, Chef of Love.
Yes. Welcome, Keena and Chef.
We're hanging out. It's been a minute. This is Couples United where we see you. Used to be Couples 412. If you're confused, don't get confused. It's a new year. Q Parker runs Brothers United. His beautiful wife runs Sisters United. We thought it not robbery to just make it Couples United. Man, if you're in the Atlanta area and you caught us in the beginning of the month, on the second Tuesday, we were talking about the differences. Are there differences? Absolutely. There are differences between men and women. And if we don't figure it out and think that it's not difference and put some blinders on, you will be in trouble in your relationship. This is the place in couples where we see you as the man, we see you as the woman, and then we see y'all together. We see the love, we see the heart, we see the fire. And when the fire goes out, sometimes you need to throw some lighter fluid on it. And you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, Chef? You need to cook up a meal that just puts that thing back on fire. But if you just tuned in all over the world, this is Couples United. You can log in from your smartphone, your tablet. We meet live in Atlanta on the second Tuesday of every month, and then we come online so we can hang out with couples all over the world the fourth Tuesday at 9 p.m. Little housekeeping. Our new website is couplesunited.atl.com, couplesunited.atl.com. You can find out everything we got going on, and we are super intentional about hooking up with great couples like yourself. It's been a minute since we hung out online, and it's just good to see everybody. Q, how you feeling out there?
Oh, man, we are just absolutely amazing. We are on 1,000 right now. The love is definitely in the air. We're just so in love today. Nah, but today is every day, man. It's just awesome, man. So I'm glad we're back connecting with our people. Second and fourth Tuesdays of the months. So for all of you that are watching, just spread the word about Couples United. And we invite all couples to join the movement and join the community.
That's right. Hi, Shar. I know you're driving, so we're not.
Hey,
we're not
hey
going to.
everybody, how y'all doing?
Hey, I like that. That's like that taxi cab driver show.
Look, let me just say something real quick. Chivalry ain't dead, and normally I would be driving. However, we're just coming from dinner, so instead of there's really no excuse, babe. I still should be driving because I should have just gotten in the
No, that's fine. I said let me drive. It's cool. It's Valentine's month about to come up. Let me do some special stuff for you.
Okay.
Right. Well, plus, so you had to be the cameraman.
Look, they always treat us so good on Valentine's Day. I think we should start doing nice things for the guys now to get a head start on this February coming up. So
I agree.
I guess I
I agree. And plus Q is a better cameraman.
Hey, you'll be spending Valentine's Day in New York with me, Kevin.
So look, we're gonna go out to. We have some celebrity couples hanging out with us. You want to introduce?
Hey, Chef Wells and Keena Wells, thank you so much for joining us. You had a chance to come out to our in-person session. You deem yourself the chef of love. I guess you are with 9 children. Can you tell us some more about yourselves?
I am not the poster child for 9 kids.
Okay.
Actually, I am. I get that all the time. Like, clearly his love works, right? But
yeah, 5 girls and 4 boys, But it's truly a blessing, it is. And funny thing is, that name, the Chef of Love, and people on TV and stuff started calling me that over 10 years ago. And I started writing love cookbooks. My first love cookbook that I wrote was 88 Ways to a Heart, Cooking for Lovers, from the kitchen to the bedroom. And
all right.
Wow. And that's where
Hey,
our first gift
that
came in,
that
because
book.
I hated it. I was like, no, we have 9 kids. We can't write a book called From the Kitchen to the Bedroom. They're gonna think that's all we do. No.
Hey,
Well,
but
it's
but
some
the
evidence
funny,
there that you do a lot of
hey,
it,
hey,
right?
the proof is in the pudding. And
That's right.
the funny
Hey,
thing is, when I wrote that book for her, I had created, over the time that we had been married, I had created 88 unique recipes. And see, each recipe had a love story and a love name to go with it. Like, let me feel it on your cheesesteak, licking and sticking kebab, skinny dipping shrimp cocktail.
And
I love it. I love it.
but
my
the thing, but the
disclaimer,
thing,
I'm waving the
yeah,
flag.
what'd you say,
and
Keena?
I said I'm waving the flag. I'm waving the flag.
Oh, okay.
hey, it's still true. The way I strongly believe, the way you meet a person, that's how you should continue to strive to be, even though years and age and things like that change you, and the dynamics of who you are tends to change with time. But for the most part, that portion of you that made that person fall in love with you, those are the things that I strongly feel that you should try to keep and continue to hone in on. You know, when I first met Keena, I didn't have much of anything, but the one thing I knew how to do was cook. And I told her, hey, I didn't say, can I take you out to dinner or anything like that. I said, hey, can I cook for you? Because I knew if she ate my food, I would have her. And
Hey,
hey, and you know, it's truly been a blessing. It's been almost 20 years now,
Wow.
that we're going on being married, and
Amen.
yeah, and that's just a testament to it. But you know, guys, that's just one part of the journey, and we all know it's being in a relationship, being married. It's a journey,
It
but the
is.
thing is, a journey is always better when you have somebody that's willing to take the walk with you.
That's true.
Amen.
The other piece to
Preach.
that, I should say, is I couldn't cook when he met me. So that's the only reason why. I was in college
Yeah,
and I couldn't cook anything but macaroni and cheese. That's it.
he
So
was right.
I was
When I
tired, so
met
I
her,
went
she
with
was
him.
wearing a size 2. And I asked her one day, I said, let me clean out your car. And when I opened her trunk, she had like 3 cases of macaroni and cheese in there. And I was like, who lived like this? But of course, she was,
Okay, you weren't supposed to tell that part.
well, I guess give the benefit of the doubt. She was in college and pledged. And so I guess she was just living off the Kraft macaroni and cheese alone. But I said, I got to change this. Me being a Mississippi boy, I was like, hey, let me change this right here. But you know, that is just when you speak on a celebrity note, that's one of the things that I even built my career off of. And it's one of the and it's amazing. Q said this in one of the Brothers United meetings, because I'm a Brothers United member as well.
All right.
But Q said this in one of the meetings, is the way people see you when you're not looking, it should reflect the same way when they are looking, and they should see the same character both ways. And that was one of the key things that we build our mission off of. And every show that I've done on Food Network, that's what I do. As what we live by is what I call the 4 F's in life, which is faith, family, food, and fun. I believe in doing all of them at the same time, all in abundance. But the
Four
thing is, I
F's.
tell you, I, and that's what my goal is, to show the world how you can love on your spouse, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, we live in a world now where they treat it like it's something bad to want to love on each other, especially as men, to show that affectionate side with each other. And so I made it my goal, and I always told God, I said, if you blessed me to have the platform to speak to the world, even though cooking was my gift, I was going to use that gift as a vessel, because that's what God, He give us gifts, singing, managing, all that. Those are our gifts, and those provide the livelihood. But the true showing Him thanks is, how do you use that gift? And that's what I started doing, was using my gift of cooking, because people paid attention to me through it. And I used that to funnel every other message. And that was about loving on your spouse, loving on each other, and just really enjoying what we have before us.
The 4 Fs. If you didn't hear it, you just tuned in. If you just jumping on at the last minute, you saw Instagram or Facebook, this is Couples United Live, the intentional fourth Tuesday, where we just hook up with cool couples like the chef and his wife, the Parkers, and it looked like the Kingmaker just jumped on. I don't know if his wife's in the background, but any other couples who have ever connected with us, if you see us on Instagram, you see us online, we are about showing the 50% of the marriages that are winning. We're trying to move that number closer to 100. Wow. Differences of men and women. We coined it, or either Pastor Stephen Thurston, who will be saying in a minute, coined it as spaghetti and waffles. We were not ready for that. I don't know if you're going to be ready for that. I don't know if you're going to touch on that tonight or not. But my wife found something interesting she wanted to share for a second. And then we'll let the Parkers have a moment. Our celebrity chef and his wife are hanging out. You know what? Thank you, chef, because you were intentional. You in LA, you in the dressing room. He said if he got to go, that means wardrobe came and got him. So we thank you for just still, you out in LA, and you still said you're going to come on the show. And
hey, man, I believe in the mission.
Man, God is going to honor your commitment and
but one of the things,
and bless them 9 children.
Yes,
go ahead, sweetheart. I'm sorry.
Well, like Kevin mentioned earlier this month, we talked, this is a continuation of waffles versus spaghetti, and the take on it tonight is about resolving conflict. And I thought one thing to help mitigate conflict is if you have a way to better understand your partner. So the psychologist, Margarita Wong, is giving you 4 suggestions to help better understand your partner. Number 1, be fully present. You know, when you try to talk to somebody, they can't be on their phone, you know, look at this, look at something else. We need eye contact. You gotta be fully present. And number 2 is understanding first. We need to seek to understand. Seek first to understand instead of being understood. And then number 3 is avoid complaints and defensiveness. Because you know how you get when someone gets defensive, then you get defensive, it gets all out of hand.
Right away, defensive.
Right.
It wasn't me. I ain't leave the toilet seat up.
And manage your own stuff, it says. Tune into your own feelings and stay out of their feelings, I guess. But we're going to hear more from Pastor Stephen later. I thought that was interesting. 4 points, how to better understand your partner. Be fully present. Understand first. Avoid complaints and defensiveness, and manage your own stuff.
We heard from the chef. What were your 4s again? Food, fun, faith, and family?
Faith, family, food, and fun.
Oh,
all
yeah.
Right, faith, we got the 4th theme going on.
Hey, you got to remember, faith is the foundation. Faith in God, you know, and that's one of the things. What we came to grow and learn is once we had God as that true foundation, man, it didn't matter what else hit us. You know, because you knew that you were standing on a solid foundation. And so that's what we live by: faith, then family, then, hey, food, because that's what's paying the bills.
All right.
And then fun, because, hey, we believe in doing it all.
Parkers. And they're our new Couples United driving channel. What's happening?
Right. Well, you know, we couldn't miss it, so we had to make it happen one way or another. Chef, thank you guys so much. I really do think that we should do a couples chef cook-off or something, or you can teach us a cook-o meal. We can do something. I so appreciate how you love on your wife and loving and doing for whatever, you know, your work that you do out here. Thank you, Dana. I want to piggyback on when you said being present. Let me tell you, these gadgets, these phones, the headphones, and the beats, all that stuff get us so sidetracked from not being present with your mate and just taking that time out and loving on, you know, your partner and loving on your partner. So I just want to say that one right there stuck out. Like a sore thumb for me, because we do get sidetracked, you know, with not being present with your mate. So that one is a good one. And just being able to understand the sex and Stephen, I'm so excited about this. I know we talked about it last year. And this is still exciting. Each time you deliver this is always good, always needed.
Thank you. Anything you want to say, Q, before we get into the message tonight?
No, man. I'm gonna let the missus rock out. I'm gonna let the missus rock out. I think she
All right, I think we were having a little technical difficulties. This is your boy Impeccable, his wife, his wonderful wife, Dana. If you just tuned in, we are on Couples United Live. We are intentional about meeting once, if you're in the ATL area, at the Great Oasis Church, right on MLK, at what, 7 o'clock on the second Tuesday. You can find everything at couplesunitedatl.com. But the next one is...
We're switching it, so it'll be February 13th will be online, and February 27th will be.
Are you trying to confuse us?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to. Little do you know, Q Parker is a famous singer in this group called 112, and he might have a Valentine's show or something like that. So we're going to switch it to online in this time. But the Kingmaker.
Look, let me say this. Y'all don't want to miss that meeting. You might have a so Kevin, Curvance, and Q. I don't know what the name of y'all group is, but y'all need to come out on our session at Oasis. You might get a late Valentine's Day show.
I'm singing the top note, Q. Anyway.
Okay.
Hey King, what's up, boss?
Hey man. I just left rehearsal. We do a late rehearsal after 112 is over. Together for Couples United. So I'm about to hit the road, starting at Oasis. And you might not want to miss this because Q don't look like that. I know we weren't supposed to let the cat out the bag, but me and Q started a brand new group. And we're about to spring this on everybody. It's called Love Unlimited Part 2.
All right.
We get ready to make this thing work. So
all right. Okay. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
I can't wait. If you just tuned in, we having fun. We hanging out with some of I like to call them our coaches, our mentors, our in-house pastors. Sometimes you can we have two. We got Pastor Stephen Thurston and Pastor Curvance Ross, who they're there every time and they deliver. I'm telling you. Sometimes I can't just wait to get here so that I can get the message that they're going to share. But we haven't heard from Pastor Stephen Thurston in a while, and he's going to come up. He started with us in the ATL when we first started, and then, he was called to another division back in the Chi-Town. So, but he's still with us because technology is great. Stephen, glad to have you tonight.
What's up, Kevin? Good to see everybody tonight. Chef and wife, thank you guys for connecting with us tonight. You've already given good tidbits to help us along this path. So let me dive right in. As was said, we're focusing on waffles and spaghetti, how men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. But tonight, I want to deal with this issue of confronting conflict because as you guys know, differences among genders and differences in personalities guarantees that every couple is going to experience some conflict. I don't care how good you try to be, how much you try to hit the mark, there's always going to be that period, that moment in the relationship where some conflict, some friction arises. You're going to disagree, you're going to argue, you're going to get on each other's last black nerve. But conflict doesn't have to be destructive to a relationship. A lot of people try to run from conflict, and I encourage people to not run from it. Because here's the thing about conflict. It can actually heighten your understanding of what's really important to your relationship if you know how to make it for you rather than against you. So what I'm saying is that conflict, it'll shine a spotlight on what's important to your partner, to your spouse, to your mate, to your boo. When you have conflict, you get a peek into the lens, into the life, into the eye of your significant other to see what bothers them, what makes them feel good, what rubs them the wrong way, how they like things done, how they don't like things done. Conflict is critical because it exposes you to some stuff you may not have ever known about. So while men and women experience distress for similar reasons, as they process the disappointments, they process in different ways. So when there's friction in the relationship, remember that your mate is going to process it in a different way. And also understand that at the root of any conflict, any disagreement in your relationship is an issue of an unfulfilled expectation. Some expectation wasn't met. Maybe it wasn't that the expectation wasn't expressed. That's why it wasn't met. But regardless, there was an unmet expectation. And that's what's gotten you to the place of friction and conflict. So here's what successful couples do. Successful couples learn the secret of fighting for their relationship rather than against one another. See, like men like to compete. If we're honest, we like to compete. We like to conquer. We like to overcome a challenge. But women, don't point your finger at us like that's right, because y'all like to compete too. But when you guys compete, you like to bring things back to order, back together. So here's what we got to do. We've got to harness this competitive spirit that lives within each of the sexes for the benefit of the relationship. We got to compete to see who can respond the best way, the quickest, who can get this thing back on track the quickest. That's how we ought to harness this competitive spirit that we have. So there's several skills that will help you guys to diffuse the tension that you discover in the midst of your relationship in an effort to fight for the relationship rather than against each other. Couple of tidbits. Number one, you want to make sure that you respond rather than react, because at times the best way to diffuse a conflict is to turn the focus of the conversation. What do I mean by that? When your partner ignites the conversation, you can react and shorten the fuse, or you can respond and diffuse the situation. You want to be a fire extinguisher rather than a fire starter. There's even some Bible to back this up. Proverbs chapter 15, verse number 1, it talks about a gentle answer turns away wrath. And so the gentle answer that you're going to start giving when there's tension, when there's conflict, is not going to be in a sarcastic tone, but you're really doing it to stop and to thwart things from getting out of hand, things from getting out of order. All right. Second thing, you might want to fire a warning shot. When you find yourself becoming agitated, upset, you want to say so early. The goal at the end of the day is to avert an argument. Early warnings are much easier to calm than raging conflict. So you might want to tell your partner, hey, you know what? This is getting heated. It's getting out of hand. I need to take a break. Let me go to the man cave. Let me go smoke a cigar. Let me walk around the block. Why don't you go shopping? Take the credit card. I don't care what you spend the day. We ain't go do what you got to do to calm down, because I don't want to say nothing or do nothing that's going to take us to a place that we just might not be able to recover from. And so don't use this time now to buy time, to build ammunition, or to come up with excuses for your bad behavior. But this time is to really collect yourself, to calm yourself, to regather your thoughts, and to refocus on where you want your relationship to go. And ultimately, that's forward. The next point is keep the main thing the main thing. Whenever you appreciate, whatever rather you appreciate most about your partner, guess what? It will often become the point of the highest irritation in the relationship. Remember when y'all first met, first getting to know each other, and you were so excited about the things that you found in that person? And it's these things that we fell in love with about that person that over time become the very thing that irritate the hell out of us about the other person. You know, at first it was cute. It was fine that they were so punctual, so attentive to detail, so organized, so structured. They were so giving. But now y'all done been together 10, 15 years. And that whole punctual thing blows your mind, because, you know, you want to take an hour to put your makeup on, to beat your face, to go to your closet 8 times to see what you're going to wear. And now they fussing at you. Why can't we be on time? You know what time I said we was leaving? Or they saw attention to detail in the beginning, but now you got ADD. You got a problem. You have obsessive compulsive disorder. You need to take a pill. The stuff that you started loving is now the stuff that you hate. Don't allow what you love to become the thing that you loathe about your partner. So when we look at this thing, the only path to peace in our relationships at the end of the day, guess what it is? Real simple. It's called forgiveness. All great relationships are made up of 2 committed forgivers. You've got to commit yourself to being a forgiver. And guess what? You've got your own issues, faults, and flaws, and they got their own issues, faults, and flaws. And the best way to maintain a healthy whole relationship is that you both get over and look past the issue of the other person, knowing that at the same time, they're probably looking past some of your stuff. At the end of the day, despite our best efforts, we're going to miss the mark. We're going to drop the ball. You're not going to be there when they need you to be. You're not going to say what they need you to say. Your intentions will be right, but your actions will be wrong. So we've got to engage in the process of forgiving the other person. From a biblical lens, we've got to forgive other people because God constantly, continuously forgives us of our stuff. And so the same forgiveness we want to receive is the same forgiveness that we got to give. So let me give you some steps to forgiveness because you may be struggling in that area. Some stuff may have happened in a relationship and you're like, Stephen, you don't know the story. I can't get over that. It's not that easy. I know this sounds cute for you to say this, but I'm struggling in the area of forgiveness. Let me give you some steps to help you navigate through this place of forgiveness. Number one, you want to name the offense. I forgive X for X. I forgive you for this specific particular thing. Vagueness in dealing with forgiveness only leads to doubts about whether forgiveness has been achieved. So you want to be very clear and don't paint with a broad brush. Number two, admit when something is wrong. Your partner is not a mind reader. Don't matter how long y'all been together. If you don't say something, they won't always know that something has irritated them, bothered them, rubbed them the wrong way, offended them, disrespected them. Admit when something is wrong. Don't be afraid either to call your partner out on their stuff. Right. And you should be able to call each other out on their stuff or each other's stuff because you love each other. And you should know that the only reason my partner is bringing up my issue, my ding, my dent is because they love me and they want me to be a better version of myself. So get out of your feelings when they call you out on your stuff. Number three, don't expect the offender to make up for what they've done. This is crucial. Don't expect the offender to make up for what they've done. Once an offense has been committed, it can't be uncommitted. You can't erase it. There's no magic marker that's going to take the offense away. Even if you apologize for it or make restitution, it doesn't make up for it. The scar is there. So don't get to the place where the pain of the mistake begins to control your life. Number four, don't use the offense to define who your partner is. You got to give them the ability to, you can't rather give them the ability to determine the state of your life. And that's what happens when you use the offense of your partner against them. When you define yourself, somebody else, by the things that you or they have done wrong, you encourage the process of decay. That's going to kill the marriage. That's going to kill the relationship. Listen, sometimes we leave a back door open in our lives that we forgot we didn't put the latch on. And the enemy comes to that back door and will literally take over your mind, take over your thoughts, take over your actions. And the enemy will have his way in your life. And you'll be used. You'll become the devil's advocate without even recognizing it and realizing it until something devastating has happened in the case of your relationship. Listen, just like it happened or can happen to your partner, the devil can also use you too. So that's why this forgiveness piece is so critical and crucial. Number five, don't manipulate your partner with the offense that they've committed. Manipulation is an attempt to emotionally blackmail another person. It's an attempt to protect yourself from the influence that another person has on you. So every act of manipulation confirms that the one who hurt you actually still has control over your life. It shows that you're afraid of what the person still may be able to do to you. And you'll end up running in an endless circle of self-protection, and you'll never truly live and you'll never truly love if you're in the place of manipulating your partner with the offense. Sixth and finally, and I'm out of your way tonight, don't allow what's happened to you to stop your personal growth. So many people want to stay in the place of victim when God has called us to be victors. Too often, we allow the sinful offenses of others to dictate the course of our life. I know it hurt. I know it damaged you, but that doesn't mean your life has to stop and be on pause right there. You can press past that situation in life. You have to press past that situation in life. You got to press past because God has placed something in you for you to do. And you got to get to that goal. You got to get to your destiny. And you can't allow the devilment that somebody else perpetrated on you to stop you from becoming all that you have been equipped and empowered and created to be. If you each selfishly hold on to your right to be angry with each other, you will keep your anger, you will keep your bitterness, but you will lose each other. Guess what? Forgiveness sets you both free to love. And that's what we're about here at Couples United, loving each other in spite of our stuff, loving each other through our stuff. That's how we create power couples, when we forgive and when we love. Don't be surprised by the conflict that comes up in your relationship. It's a result of being human. You just got to flip the script on the conflict and learn to allow the conflict to work for you rather than against you. That's my time tonight.
Amen.
What you mean that's your time? What's up, Steve? You ain't been here in a while. We trying to cut that short. We got to cut that short. Look, if you just tuned in, this is Couples United live, hanging out with the Parkers, Q and Charlinda. We got the Chef of Love and his wife, Keena. We got the Kingmaker, and we got Pastor Stephen Thurston. Now, we said this month, we were talking about the differences. And then Stephen kind of gave us, he went to the end game to tell us that forgiveness is going to wipe out all of those differences. But in between that time, I wanted to recap on, I've been talking about spaghetti and waffles so much, and somebody not in the ATL may have never seen it. So I don't know if you or the Kingmaker want to jump in and just talk about the spaghetti and waffles, because it's, you know, it just puts it on another, you know, it's not like chicken and waffles, you know, but it is, you know, I mean, eye-opening and appetizing. I'm sorry.
I'll give a quick.
Hey guys, I wanted to tell you guys before you get started. I know that we have couples on the call, but I do want to acknowledge I do have one of my very close friends tuning in from Houston. She's listed as T. She just texted me and told me. So I want to welcome her from the standpoint of singleness, but hoping to find a husband real soon.
Yes.
T, also named Tony. What's up, Tony?
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. You on the host line, Tony. So you can turn your camera on at any time. And say
I didn't
hello.
know how to help her to get on here, so I just sent her my link, and hopefully so she can get something good from this. So maybe it was just meant for her to be here. So
Hey, I hear you.
awesome.
This is Couples United for couples who desire to be a couple and marry one day, the seriously dating couples, and the ones who just jumped in it with no manual, and we trying to figure it out along the way. So that's why we hanging out doing this. Hey, Tony.
Hi, I'm sorry. So I was muted and I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself, but everything I've heard so far has been great, and I look forward to tuning in into some future sessions you all have.
Well, we glad to have you. We just left Houston. We love Houston. Anyway, back to spaghetti and waffles. If you just tuned in, this is Couples United Live. We hanging out. We having fun. You know, you'd be on that camera FaceTiming anyway, so don't even act like it's a big deal to hang out. But this is technology. This stuff is happening all over the country now. Steven or the Kingmaker, waffles and spaghetti.
I'll kick it off and then I'll throw alley-oop to the Kingmaker. So waffles and spaghetti. Men are more like waffles. Women are like spaghetti. So if you know anything about spaghetti, you can have a plate of spaghetti. You don't know where one strand ends and one strand begins because it's all intermixed and all intermingled. Women, that's y'all.
No.
Yeah. Don't deny it. Don't deny it, Dana. I'm preaching the gospel right now.
Dana, tell them we call it multitasking.
So you all connect all kind of dots. Y'all kind of like merge everything together some kind of way. It all makes sense. Like Charlinda said, y'all can multitask. You can be washing clothes, washing the dishes, doing homework, feeding the kids, cooking all at the same time, never miss a beat, having a conversation with your mama on one phone, your husband sitting at the table, all of it. And it just flows for y'all. Everything is connected. Life connects in so many ways. You can be in the midst of a conversation. Some kind of way you'll dip back to 1985 and what happened back then. You tell me what everybody was wearing. And then you'll tie that into what's going to happen in 2020, some kind of way. And at the end of the day, it all makes sense. As crazy as it is to us, it makes sense for y'all. Here's the problem. Sometimes, as you all are creating these storylines, though, you connect dots that should not be connected. And that's where you got to be careful as spaghetti, because some stuff really ain't supposed to be running together. With waffles.
What's wrong with the man? Let's hear about the man.
See, that's the problem. You women don't want to learn nothing.
I'm taking notes, Stephen. I'm taking notes.
Why something got to be wrong with us? Why can't we just be different? Why something got to be wrong with us?
Thank you, Kevin.
Nothing's wrong with us. It's just how we are, okay?
That doesn't mean deficient, Dana.
Back to you.
So with waffles, men are like waffles. And you know, a waffle has all of these boxes on it. So as men, we function box by box. We get in trouble with y'all women because y'all want to jump around in the boxes. That's not how we're designed. We're designed to go into a box, assess an issue or problem in that box, come up with a solution, and then once we get the solution, then we're ready to move on to the next box. In the waffle, there's always a center box, and that center box for us is the sex box. And we always trying to get back to the sex box. So hurry up with the box that you got us in, that you got us working on, so we can get back to that center box. And so we're processed. So you may think that we're ignoring you or we're aloof. Nope, we're processing, we're assessing. We're very structured in our thinking because we want to get in the box, we want to win in the box, and then we want to move to the next box. So again, we can't jump from box to box, which is what you all are asking us to do. We want y'all to just slow down a little bit, number one. Number two, we're not going to enter boxes that we can't win in. Men like to conquer, men like to win. And so we will only stay in boxes that we know about, that we can win in. When you try to put us in another box we don't know nothing about, we will clam up, we will shut down, we will get out of there. We're going to be quiet because we want to win and we don't want to be in a box where we're going to be defeated. That's the quick rundown of waffles and spaghetti. I'll throw it to the kingmaker now, who's going to shine bright and let us know in a very deep way more about this waffle and spaghetti concept.
I hate my ministry friends. The reality, as Stephen is so eloquently put together, is that in the process of development and as relationships grow, what you got to understand is men only use a few boxes. And you'd be surprised to find that even in the sex box, after you've been in a relationship for some time, the desire and the concept of sex even changes with men based off of what they have on their plate, what their needs are, and where their perspectives are. If you don't understand the boxes that your man is working in, you could make the mistake of bringing another man's box into the house or basement of the man that you're with. It is problematic because a lot of us have carried somebody else's boxes into a brand new house and have forgotten to recognize that those boxes should have been left with the owner, as opposed to taking those boxes and bringing them to your new landlord. It's to be that there is a challenge. On top of that, some of us have been eating as men lasagna and not recognizing that our wife was spaghetti. And because you thought it was Italian and similarly prepared, you have confused the two dishes as opposed to understanding the necessity, the need, and the perspectives. So what has to happen is learning that as we grow, as we develop, scientifically, it shows that every 7 years, women go through a growth spurt. They go through a change. The challenge for us as men is you don't know which phase of the 7 years your woman is on. You have not started counting. You did not know when the last change occurred. And the challenge is we've got to get out of our box to understand their spaghetti. And a lot of times women, we've got to look at this and recognize that because your spaghetti overlaps does not minimize the compartmentalization of us as men. The differences are what make the difference. There is a difference between silk and denim. Silk is more expensive. Denim is cheaper, but you don't want a pair of jeans made out of silk. No, you want a blouse made out of denim. you know, you have porcelain and you have steel. One of them is more delicate. One of them is stronger, but nobody wants to drive a porcelain car. It's the differences that make the differences. And as long as we learn how to respect the differences, one of them may be weaker in some components, but more priceless in the same moment. While one of them may be more inexpensive, but stronger and more durable. Once you look at the differences, learn to respect the differences, appreciate the difference, and value the difference in your waffle or in your spaghetti.
Good God Almighty. That's how you break it down. See, that's why you call him the kingmaker. He bounced past it. He was like, what did Stephen not talk about? And let me talk about it. And I don't want a porcelain car or no silk jeans, especially not in the club. Back in the day when your girl tried to back it up on you with some silk, you're done. You gotta leave the club. It's time to leave the club. Look.
I would just like to add to that. This is a perfect segue for me, and now I'm just even more convinced that I know this is God's plan. I am in the 10th chapter chapter of a book called Love Beyond the Vows. And everything that you guys have just covered, it really lines up with how I got to 19 years because of our differences. The learning how, I asked God so many years that I just wanted to give up because I'm tired. I'm we dated for 3 months, first thing. So talk about differences. Didn't learn much about each other. It just felt right. I felt like I trusted the right things and this was my husband. So I went with it. We eloped. Didn't tell our family, came back a year later and had a wedding. But I kept trusting God and asked, what am I doing? And he constantly kept saying, I'm finding all of the faults in him and overlooking everything that was wrong with me. And I never tried to understand where was our difference. And so you just gave the perfect analogy to me being like a spaghetti and him being like a waffle. A lot of times, if you place spaghetti on the wrong type of plate, it'll slide off. So a lot of times, I was trying to place.
I think you're freezing up a little bit.
Yeah.
And they would not fit because he never understood. And God kept saying, I'm like, God, what do I need to do? Okay. I kept asking, what did I need to do? And to look beyond your vows. Yes. But what about mine? To love him where he is.
Keen, I think we lost you, but I think we got you. Chef, we getting around to 5.
Learning how to communicate where he is and helping him understand where I am.
Amen.
So
Amen, Chef.
We talk about spaghetti and waffle, but we're a food game. So I talk about it like a tossed salad. And what you like.
Ho. This is a family show. She said spaghetti and waffle. She turned it to tossed salad. Anyhow.
Kevin, get your mind out the gutter, Reverend.
Hey, I ain't say nothing.
That is not what I did not mean that.
And on the 5
track. You're talking his language. You talk about lasagna. Yeah, I mean, that's his love language, food. So, Chef, she said she didn't realize that she was putting all her spaghetti in your boxes. What's your comment on that?
And that was true, but what at the same time, she didn't realize that she was putting in all in my boxes, and at the same time, I didn't realize that I needed to take a step back and learn to see what it was that she really desired. We were so focused, and I was so focused on trying to build me, where what I had to do was reevaluate my thought process and focus on nurturing her. And once we came to a point where I started focusing on nurturing her and she was focusing on nurturing me, we both became nurtured. But there was one point during our lives where we were looking at it as, I don't understand her and she don't understand me. And we couldn't figure out, we love each other, but how is it that we can love each other so much but not even understand each other? And it didn't resonate. And what the problem was coming to the realization was that I love you, I need to pay attention to you. And that goes back to what you guys are saying about being distracted by other things, phones, all of that, spaghetti versus waffles. I'm so focused on trying to make sure my waffles stay nice and crisp that I forgot all about, hey, I needed to put that tomato basil marinara sauce on her spaghetti.
Chef, I got hungry just a minute. I'm sorry. I got a little hungry just now. To me, you got to put some. If you just tuned in, this is Couples United Live. We hanging out with the chef and his wife, the Parkers. We've been talking about the differences between men and women. Parkers, I'm gonna come to you guys. Why don't you guys share a difference that maybe you guys have overcome, or that you're working on, or that you worked through?
Okay, I can tell you one. I remember when Sean and I, when we first were married, I come from having road managers and assistants and promoters who pretty much wait on your hand and feet, right? So when we were married, Charlinda was just like almost ADD when it comes to cleanliness. And I was just OCD. Well, I said ADD. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, hey, I know how to add.
Clean it up, baby. Clean it up.
Yeah. OCD, right? And I was just the total opposite because in my world, I'm in a hotel. I can not make the bed up. I can throw my shoes over on this side of the room.
Dana, you laughing. You know it also well.
But what I had to do was I had to realize that, hey, we're not separate individuals anymore. We are one, and we live in this house together. So, it didn't just hit me on like immediately, but over time, the things that she valued became things that I valued. And then there were some things that I valued that she didn't necessarily look at it as important that ultimately became important simply because it was important to me. And I think one of the things we learned early on was just because it's not important to you don't mean you get to minimize the importance it is of your spouse. And simply because it's important for your spouse should make it important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
True.
Steven, you looking like you just shared that before or something. Hey, I agree. Charlinda, you want to say anything? Difference you worked through with?
You guys have touched on some amazing situations. For me, I just had to realize I know I'm a strong-willed person, and my spaghetti may be all over the place.
Talk about spaghetti.
But let me tell you, this session, like I said, every time I hear this, I learn something new from it, and it's so well needed. For me, one of the things, like I said, I'm a strong-willed person. I had to realize, Q is on the road a whole lot, and so my thing is, I run a house, I'm doing this and doing that. So sometimes I will forget to throw him back his role when he come back in town. He's the role of the man, and just let him go ahead and know this is how now it's run. For me to just step back and just love on him, give nurture him, but being the head, you always got to go out there and get it, work hard. So for me, I just had to realize when to step back and just let Q take charge and play my role. So I try to keep my spaghetti together in my bowl and not jump up faces. I think we call on
no.
Good stuff.
We have brand new spaghetti, but the old spaghetti.
Yeah, the old spaghetti.
They don't make noodles as long as they used to make
them. Hey, you can break them. You can break them.
No. Real talk. I was all over the place. It was a hot mess. I love this. So I really appreciate this, Stephen. I've learned something else new tonight. So I'm gonna try to keep this spaghetti, keep it tame, keep it in my bowl. Understand the boxes of these waffles and know when to jump in a box and jump out of a box and leave a box alone when I need to.
All right.
I think that was dope the way Chef put it when he said needed to realize that maybe I have the sauce that it needs to be added to the spaghetti. Mm-hmm. But then also sometimes ladies jump in that box with us. Just because we have the waffle, who said the parameter or the measurement of the box can only fill one person? Jump in that box with us sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if you don't truly understand. So I think for me, like now, I may try to get in a box, but before I think I would be like, I'm not touching that, right? Because like you didn't get what I was saying. Either come back over this way, or I don't want to come play in your box because you didn't stir my spaghetti right. So.
Mama.
I'm learning something from them tonight. Spaghetti waffles tossed.
My mind. Come on, somebody.
I'm talking about the center box too, as an, and you know,
We
that's
have
the
technical
upper.
difficulties over here.
Oh, hey, Stephen said he didn't really touch on the main box that men always want you to come into. In some boxes, like Kavan said on our live session, we don't want you in that box because we by ourselves, and it's the do nothing box, and we need to do nothing for a minute in that box and be by ourselves. Hey, what you doing? Absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm in the be nothing, do nothing box. Where's my phone? Away from the box.
Do nothing. We always have something to do.
And that's what I need to understand. And I need to understand how to handle your do nothing box, because a lot of times I'm like, are you really doing nothing? And how do I do nothing except that?
Like, for real, nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
Thinking about nothing.
Well, let me address that. The best way to handle our do nothing box is to not handle it.
Exactly.
Literally, it's not for you to handle. It's for you to understand. It's that box. See, because what you're going to do is what you just did. Are you really doing nothing? What you thinking about? I know you're thinking about something. Doing nothing.
Yeah.
Being by myself. And that's so complicated because of the fact you're sitting down doing something, you thinking. Look at it like this. You have a restaurant built all around waffles called the Waffle House. It is not in every city. It's not in every state. It is a basic structure. You're watching the person fix your food on a griddle. The waffle is real basic. You either want it light, dark, or medium. And they have put every condiment around it, and all they do every day, all day, 24 hours a day, is prepare waffles. Mm-hmm. That's how men are. We don't need no bells, no whistles, no frivolousness. We can eat breakfast in the morning. We can eat breakfast in the afternoon. We can eat breakfast in the evening. We know how we want our waffle to look. We know how we want it to operate. And the only additives we want is something sweet. If you're not putting some syrup on our waffle, what you are doing is causing a problem a lot of times. It sounds complicated, but it's not. On the flip side, you got a place called the Spaghetti Factory. Mm-hmm. The Spaghetti Factory got all the ambiance connected to it. You got to have the right bread. You got to have the wine. The guy's got to be in a white shirt with a apron on. It's a lot of complication. You got to want to go to the Spaghetti House because it's a whole different process. You got meat sauce. You got meatballs. You got just regular potato paste. Boils over into long space.
You got white,
but you call it a Spaghetti House, but you serve all of this other stuff.
Right.
That's what women are like. You got to get dressed to go there. It's very complicated. Understanding the two will help you respect the two. But don't overthink. You really ain't thinking about that while you're at the Waffle House? No, I'm thinking about these sausages, this egg, and this waffle.
And them hash browns.
This hash brown, scattered, smothered, covered. That's all I'm on. It sounds ridiculous, but that's how different men and women are.
That's good. That's good.
It really is.
That's good. I couldn't look. You talked about that waffle so good. I couldn't even remember what I order every time. But it's number one. The bright whatever it is.
Hey man, give me the All-Star.
All-Star. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The All-Star. If you just tuned in, this is Couples United. We hanging out. We connect with cool couples. We sharpen our skills. We get intentional about our marriage. We learn something different every month. What we got coming up next month?
Well, next month is the love month.
Love month, quote unquote, which should be every day, but we're gonna celebrate it at Couples United next month. Next month is flip flop. On the second Tuesday, we're gonna be online. We're gonna be live. If you're in the ATL area, go to couplesunited.atl.com. Just as you see on the screen, couplesunited.atl.com, and you will find out everything. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're everywhere like the sidewalk. We've been talking about differences. we've been talking about spaghetti and waffles. It's fun to talk about spaghetti and waffles because we can figure it out, and then we can really relate to ourselves and to our wives, and then we can have a better understanding. When we have a better understanding, then we do better. Like the chef said, pay attention to the things that are important, not only to yourself, but to your mate. And I think that is what's the key.
I do have a question for one of our viewers. One of our viewers, they're asking, do you have any suggested resources or books, Pastor Stephen and Kervance, to help further on this topic?
I'll go through my library, Dana, and get them to you, and we can just post them up on the website.
And the answers, he's working off this worksheet. The answers are on our website, couplesunitedATL.com. You just have to register and go to the resources page, and you'll get his worksheet with all the answers.
All the answers.
Well,
fellas, you gonna read that? You gonna put that in your box? It'll be up there online. Your wife will download it, and it'll be on your pillow.
Circle it. I'm underlining.
When you get there, let's go over this. We like, what? We were in that box when I watched this thing I ain't want to watch in the first place.
Hey,
anyhow,
speaking of that, guys, I have one of my fourth book out. Actually, it's on the basis of what we talk about, and it's breaking down the different psyches of a man for a lady, and the name of it is Roadmap: A Woman's Guide to a Good Man. And I break down 14 different chapters of the different psyches and thought processes of what goes on inside of a man's head. Whether it's the egotistical man, the mama's boy, you name them, the cheat man. I break it all down in this book, Roadmap. Yeah.
Roadmap. Hey, Chef, where can we find out about all of your great books and your great cuisine? And
maybe I can send some of that over to you too, and maybe you guys might want to post it. I can do that.
Okay.
Yes.
They
can find everything at chefjenard.com, CHEFJERNARD, and they can get all my books at any major retailer, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, you name it. But yeah, the latest one is Roadmap: A Woman's Guide to a Good Man. And I wrote that book because I took a step away from the table. And like I was speaking about earlier on in the conversation, I know that God utilizes us as vessels. He gave me a gift of food, but people would pay attention to me with that. So I was like, since I got people's attention, what else can I do to enrich their life? So that's when I started writing inspirational books. And Roadmap, it just helps women to better find and understand and see the different psyches of these men that they deal with, whether good or bad. And then the book prior to that one, me and Keena wrote together, the name of it is Weight of Expectations, Losing It All to Gain Everything. And we teach people.
And that's because we literally almost lost it all and had to come to a place of true brokenness, and it all we truly just surrendered. Like you had to just give it all to him because we couldn't fix it, and just build all of it back and built it on a stronger foundation, and truly being able to flourish from that.
Well, I can tell you guys are flourishing because when you talk to each other, even though you're not in the same room, y'all glowing and smiling like, Chef, come home, baby. I miss you. I miss you.
I might go to his Waffle House if he hurry up and come back.
Am I?
Oh, okay. Waffle House is open 24 hours, baby. Anyway, we're gonna be a respecter of everybody's time. We said that we were gonna only do it for an hour. Sometimes it goes a little past that, but this is Couples United. We meet once live and then once online every month. We're intentional. Q Park and myself in the great, what is it, UAE or Dubai? I don't know what to call it, Q. Anyway, we got together and said let's do something to make an impact on couples, and here we are, going on 3 years later. We got a permanent home right now at Oasis. For those that live in Atlanta, just go to the website. You'll find out all the information. And we come into a place near you, even in your heart, your mind, and your soul. So until next time, everybody, from all of us at Couples United, we love you. Stay married, stay strong, stay committed.
Stay married.
Yeah. Right, definitely stay married. We need that 50% to go up.
Don't forget, Q, we're gonna have that couples cook-off Yeah.
Oh, couples cook-offs coming. We're gonna put it on the schedule. We're gonna take something off of the schedule.
Let's see. How do we want to do it? Are we gonna do the men versus the women, or
hang on, Janard. I'm gonna end the session. Goodbye, everybody. But we're gonna stay a little overtime to hear something about this session. Good night, everybody.
Good night.